My name is Catherine Pena, and I am a CARES Act business advisor here with Tarrant SBDC. And today I am joined by two other counterparts, and today we're going to have further discussions about the Biden-Harris 14-day program that ends next week. So you are welcome to put some questions in the chat, and if we can clarify them for you, we certainly will. But we want to make sure that as much information that we know, that we want to share with you, our small business owners, so you can have a successful application for this program. And by the way, the Consolidated Appropriations Act ends March 31st of this year. So there's still an opportunity for you, but right now we're going to focus on the Biden-Harris 14-day program. So let me go get my counterparts. Hey, Cindy.
Hi.
Hey, Jesus.
No.
I think I kind of like that view better. So anyway, uh, we're doing this today because I think there are still some questions for our small business owners who are being impacted, who want to apply for this program. And we'd like to make sure that we share some more deadlines, give them some more information, and also, Jesus, share with them in Spanish for our Spanish speaking folks so they can feel more comfortable moving forward with this application. So I'm going to throw it out there, and whichever one wants to, can one of you share uh, how this program for Biden-Harris PPP happened?
Of course. Well, first of all, I think we have to have context in terms of dates. The PPP program was extended until the March 31st, and within that period, the exclusivity period that you mentioned, Catherine, at the beginning, which is the equitable access in order to support smaller businesses. It started back in February 24th and ends on March 9th. On top of that, narrower window, we just learned the day before yesterday about the new measures to allow those businesses or business owners who will use their tax return, the Form 1040, Schedule C as support. There's a new methodology to calculate the loan amount. So I think that's the big context, and based on that, I will let Cindy elaborate a little bit on that on the subject matter.
So one of the things was the program PPP originally had $284 billion that was allocated for that program. At the end of February, they had used over $156 billion. And so there's still funds in there. And what they wanted to do was find a way to help micro businesses, which are those businesses with 20 employees or less, get funding. So within the changes that came with the Biden-Harris announcement, it was the fact that they were going to open it up for this exclusive 14-day period, like Jesus was talking about. But it was also going to create a new calculation to help those micro businesses that may not have been able to be approved previously that do file Schedule C. So the biggest change that came with that calculation is instead of using line 31 on your Schedule C, which is your net income, they're going to be using line 7 minus any of those employee benefits on your Schedule C to be your gross income figure that they're going to use to begin the calculations for PPP. So that was the biggest change, and that helps a lot of our micro businesses because, as you know, micro businesses, they are writing off their home offices, or if they're doing, in my case, I have a couple clients that do home daycare, so they're using their homes for that. So they have all those write-offs. So it really decreased that net income. And this way now, where they didn't qualify before, they do now qualify. And so that's going to be really, really beneficial to our real small businesses. that have quite a difference between their line 7 and their line 31.
That's
Thank
correct.
you, Cindy.
So, something that is
Well,
very important to outline. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, before we went there, some people may not understand what is a micro business. So we're looking at solopreneurs, independent contractors, small LLCs, and those types of businesses. Can you think of any others that I may have missed that is encapsulated inside of micro businesses, Cindy or Jesus?
No, I think it is a very comprehensive definition and a very, understandable definition. So thank you for that. And I'd like to outline something very important, which is that if you already submitted an application, but you have not been approved yet, or the money hasn't been disbursed, or you haven't signed a Form 1502 in your process, you are still able to withdraw your application. So you take advantage of these new rules that are more beneficial for many of the businesses. However, if you already signed the Form 1502 and you already got the funds in your checking account, it is too late in this case. Usually, if it is the case, it is your first draw, and you are able to submit a second draw on time. So that's something very important to keep in mind.
And as small businesses prepare to participate, can either one of you share what kinds of things help the process for them to be prepared to get funds?
Well, what they're going to need most definitely is going to be their 2019 Schedule C, because they're going to need that also for the figures that they need to do to calculate that. And if they are using Schedule C and they do have employees, they are going to need their information from their 941s.
Awesome. And just to make sure we follow up with people, we are taking questions now. If you have any questions regarding the Biden-Harris 14-day window, it will end on March the 9th, so you will not have any more time to participate with this program. There have been some recent changes that the SBA did release yesterday, specifically regarding Schedule C line item. And Cindy, you can always jump in. That mentions that you can use your gross versus your net. Also, it's not retroactive. If you've had funds released to you already, those are the funds that are released. Oh, something that we didn't mention is if you have an application that has not yet been processed and you may benefit from changing your line item, you can remove that application and resubmit it. And then also, Jesus mentioned something very important that escaped my mind. What was your last comment, Jesus?
I think what was regarding the ability to do what you just mentioned, as long as the applicant hasn't signed Form 1502. So if he or she is not in that at that point, she can go back and resubmit using the new rules. And it is so important that I'd like to mention that in Spanish for a minute. So we all are on the same page. So, es muy importante que sepamos que si ya fuimos aprobados, pero no nos han depositado los fondos, o si ya nos depositaron los fondos, pero no hemos firmado aún la forma 1502, aún estamos en posición de declinar lo que nos otorgaron, el préstamo que nos dieron, y volver a someter una aplicación con las nuevas reglas, de tal manera que seamos beneficiados. Sin embargo, si ya firmamos la forma 1502, va a ser demasiado tarde ya para hacerlo. De preferencia, y si fuera el caso, si este fue el caso en el que ya estamos, la idea es que ejerzamos inmediatamente los fondos para volver a aplicar para el segundo draw, para la segunda ronda, y en esa ronda usar el nuevo criterio. Entonces es bien importante que no se pierda esta idea, que debemos regresarnos. Y hay dos puntos importantes adicionales que quiero mencionar en español. El primero es que el periodo de exclusividad para negocios de hasta 20 empleados termina el martes 9 de marzo, número uno. Y número dos, que todo el programa, hasta donde sabemos el día de hoy, hasta donde está anunciado el día de hoy, termina el día 31 de marzo. Es decir, si ustedes aplicaron después del 9 de marzo, su proceso va a seguir calificándose. Sin embargo, va a ser menos rápido porque ya se va a mezclar con todos los negocios de todos los tamaños. Entonces, si pueden ustedes hacerlo antes del día 9, y ojalá que su banco ya tenga arriba los portales, su portal listo para recibir la nueva regla de poder utilizar el gross income, de poder utilizar el margen bruto, que es la línea número 7 en lugar de la línea número 31. So,
way to go, Jesus. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I think our Spanish-speaking clients and prospective clients appreciate that. Let's bring in Cindy. Now, Cindy, is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you think people or small business owners have still that we can give them some help or additional tips?
Well, it's really important for them to just always, first of all, it's always good to have a good bookkeeping system in place so that when we have programs out there that are available and even just basic lending, that you really know where you're at financially, but always to know where those documents are and have them readily available. Because in the case of PPP, if you're doing a second draw, you are going to have to show a decrease in your revenue. So in order to do that, you're going to need to know where to go and get that information so that you can determine whether or not you're even eligible. So that's just really, really important for good business practice.
Excellent. Thank you.
And I'd like to add something else, which is I think is very important for some of our members of our community. Is two restrictions are eliminated. One restriction is for those who have the delinquent student loans. It is that restriction is removed, and it is retroactive. It's the only retroactive restriction that is removed. And the other restriction is from now on, for those who were restricted because of felonies having not to do with fraud or financial issues, financial crimes. So as long as it is not financial crimes or felonies having to do with fraud, that restriction is lifted.
I also think that would be a great opportunity for you to share that in Spanish too, Jesus.
Absolutely. Comentaba yo que una cosa adicional, una cosa final que quiero yo agregar es que se eliminan dos restricciones. Una restricción que es que aquellos que tengan créditos estudiantiles, créditos de deudas de estudiantes, y que esto haya sido una restricción para tomar un crédito previamente, a partir de ahora y retroactivamente se eliminan esa restricción. Ese es el caso número uno. Y el caso número dos es aquellos que hayan cometido alguna felonía, algún crimen que no sea un crimen patrimonial, que no sea un fraude, que no sea una cosa relacionada con deudas o con algún tema financiero. Esta restricción se quita. Antes cualquier felonía, cualquier crimen era suficiente para ser restringidos. Ahora solamente los que son relativos a temas financieros, a temas de fraude, esos son los que prevalecen, esos no se van a eliminar y esos no son retroactivos. Entonces son las dos restricciones que se eliminan.
Excellent. Thank you. And, as we get ready to kind of wind this down, I know we opened this up for questions. We did this kind of under the radar for most people. But I think what's important is that I stay on task and not have too many things in my mind. I just lost what I wanted to say. I know I wanted to go. I wanted to let people know that the PPP program, what's happening right now, is very beneficial for our small business owners, our minority business owners, our women business owners, and we have a staff prepared to talk to you today about that. Hold on just a minute, everybody. Technical issues. There we go. We're back on. And we have Cindy and Jesus here specifically to help you with that. They are just a phone call away. You can reach Cindy here um, at 817-515-2579. She's got a great specialty with daycares and other businesses as well. Jesus, who's with us in our team, is at 817-515-2576. So if you are a bilingual or another minority business owner, we are specifically tasked to reach out to you to help you be successful and keep your doors open through the PPP and IDLE, which we really didn't talk much about as something that will happen later. But if there are any questions or concerns about this current program that ends next Tuesday, please feel free to put those comments in now or give us a call direct so that we can move you through. I, I also think that one thing that's happened is that this program is short and some of the banks may not be prepared yet. And so part of the onus is you, as the business owner, go to your specific bank and ask if they're participating in this program. And if you're having issues and they're unable to help you, reach out to us. Both Cindy and Jesus, and as a team, we are collecting lenders who are looking to move forward to fulfill this application. So, Jesus, Cindy, are there any last things that we should share with our clients and individuals at large today?
I just want to remind everybody that there's two deadlines that we've been talking about. The one is the exclusivity period, and that ends March 9th. And that is for all those businesses, 20 employees or less, you get priority. Only those applications will be processed through the 9th. But PPP, the overall program, ends March 31st. And so it's really important to remember those two dates. And the reason PPP is so important, one thing we didn't touch on, is the simple fact that by following the guidelines that are there, if you do follow those, you're going to get that PPP loan. You have the ability to get that forgiven at 100%. So in a sense, it acts more like a grant than it does a loan. So that's why we just really feel like it's so important for our small businesses to take advantage of that program because it is so beneficial in that respect.
Exactly. And I think the most important one came out yesterday when the SBA shared that the gross or the net could be submitted for that application so that it benefits those small business owners who may have been in the negative with their net and their gross was higher. So again, if there's any questions regarding this program, now or later or over the weekend when you watch this, feel free to leave comments, call Cindy or Jesus directly. We're here to help you get the benefits of this program from the Biden-Harris initiative. And we're here for you. Jesus and Cindy and myself say thank you for joining us today. Please let us know if there's anything else that we can provide to you for information to help you grow your business, sustain your business, or even start your business. So until then, we are going to say good night, have a great weekend, and be sure to reach out to us next week. And before we move on, I have one little thing to get prepared, and we are going to sign off. So thank you very much for joining us today. Be sure and follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and our LinkedIn. We have more information there to keep you posted on the upcoming changes that are out there for small business owners, and we're here to service you. Thank you so much for your participation, for your upcoming comments, and remember, we're only a phone call away.